this video, I'm going to show you how to create 3 awesome and dynamic text effects in DaVinci Resolve using Fusion. First, let's add a Text Plus node and type in our text. Once that's done, jump over to the Shading tab and change the appearance. Let's start by adding a background node and setting it to a gradient. Now we connect that to our Text Plus node to use it as a custom fill. Head over to the Shading tab, and under Mapping Level, switch it to Line. Let's jump back to the background node. Set the gradient type to Reflect. This gives us a mirrored look that works great for text. Then adjust the size and tweak the colors to match the style you're going for. Don't be afraid to experiment here. The gradient is what really brings the whole effect to life. Once you're happy with the gradient, hit Shift+Space and add a drip node. This instantly gives the text a melting, fluid-like motion that makes it feel alive. It's a simple touch, but it adds a lot of character. Now connect the Text Plus node into the drip node, and then feed the drip output back into the Text Plus node. This creates a feedback loop that merges the drip effect directly onto our text. Select the Merge node and set the Apply mode to Screen. In the drip node, set amplitude to 0.11 and dampening to 0.4. At the start, keyframe the frequency at around 20, and at the end, raise it to 40. Set the phase to roughly 0.270 for a smooth animated distortion. Once that's done, let's take a look at what we've got so far. Looking good. Now switch over to the Edit page, head to the Effects tab, and drag in the Edge Detect effect. With the Edge Detect selected, go to the Inspector panel. Set the gamma to 2000 for a more intense look. You can also tweak the edge width and brightness to dial in the exact style you want. The gradient isn't popping enough, so let's jump back into Fusion and tweak the background node. A few color adjustments here can really boost the overall look. Once that's dialed in, head back to the Edit page. From the Effects panel, drag in a glow effect to add some extra punch to the visuals. With the glow effect selected, open the inspector. You can tweak the color, or even add a second one for more depth. Set saturation to 3.0 and raise the gamma to boost brightness. Increase the spread to make the glow softer and more cinematic, and push the HV ratio up to stretch it horizontally. Perfect for that wide, stylized glow look. If you like this effect, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more Fusion tricks. This was just the first. Now let's jump into the second text effect. This one is going to be built in 3D. Start by adding a Text 3D node, then connect it to a Renderer 3D. In the Renderer settings, make sure to enable both lighting and shadows, so the text has real depth and proper shading. Once that's ready, go back to the Text 3D node and type in your word. We'll use music in all caps for a bold, strong look. With the text in place, let's give it some depth. In the Text 3D settings, set the extrusion depth to 0.5. This makes the text solid and fully three-dimensional. Hit Shift+Space and add a Displaced 3D node after the Text 3D. Then connect everything into a Merge 3D so the text lives inside the 3D scene. Before the Displaced 3D, drop in a Replacement Material node. That way the material is applied first, and the displacement happens on top of it. Go to the Effects panel, open Fusion Shaders, and add the Chrome Checkerplate shader. Connect it to the replacement material to give the text a metallic, patterned surface. Next, add a directional light and connect it to the Merge 3D. This gives the text proper highlights and shadows, making the metallic surface really stand out. Add a Fast Noise node and connect it to the Displaced 3D. This will drive the displacement, giving the text a dynamic, textured distortion. Let's fine-tune the displacement. In the Displaced 3D settings, set the scale to 0.4 and the bias to around 0.37. This keeps the distortion strong but still balanced. Now let's adjust the Fast Noise. Set the detail to 50, brightness to about -0.4, and scale to 20. You can also tweak the angle, set the seed rate to 1, and the seed to around 0.4 for nice movement. Since the text is sticking out too far, jump back into the Text 3D node to fix the size and positioning. Once that's done, let's take a look at what we've got so far. Looking solid. Now for the main part, head over to the Chrome Checkerplate node, where we'll start shaping the final look. Let's start with the colors. I want a glowing center, so I'll set the outside to blue and the inside to orange. Then bring the intensity up to 0.75, set the V-spread to 0.05, U-scale to 4.0, and height scale all the way to 100. This creates a bright, fiery core with a strong metallic surface. Of course, everyone can experiment with their own color choices to get a unique look. Once everything is set up in Fusion, let's head back to the Edit page to finish things off. From the Effects panel, add a glow effect to boost the highlights. Then drop in Aperture Diffraction for those sparkling star-like flares. It really makes the text shine. And the Aperture Diffraction settings, set the aperture size to 10, rotation to 60, and angle to 180. Raise the result gamma a little higher, switch the color to orange, and boost the brightness for a stronger, glowing star effect. From here, everyone can adjust these values to their own taste and style, but these are the settings that really define the final look. Glow and aperture diffraction together are perfect for making this effect shine. For the glow effect, set the spread to about 1.2 and the HV ratio to 0.25. Change the glow color to yellow and bring the gamma up to around 1.4, with saturation at 3.0. Add a secondary red tone, push the gain higher, and lower the spread, and just like that, the effect is complete. And now, let's jump into the third text effect. This one's bold, intense, and perfect if you want a more dramatic, cinematic look. Let's get started. For the third effect, we'll build it in 3D again. Start with a text 3D node and a renderer 3D, then add a replacement material followed by displaced 3D. Finally, connect everything into a merge 3D to set up the scene. Next, add a directional light and connect it to the merge 3D. Don't forget to enable lighting and shadows in the renderer 3D so the text reacts properly and gets realistic depth. Now let's type in our text. After that, go to the Effects panel, open Fusion, and add a background with a rectangle fly through. Connect this setup into the replacement material to drive the look of the text. Hit Shift+Space, add a fast noise, and connect it to the displaced 3D. This will drive the distortion and give the text a more dynamic, animated look. The rectangle fly through can also be used on its own, and I'll show you that in another tutorial. In the rectangle fly through settings, change the color, then set the lifespan to 40 and velocity to 0.5. Adjust the size variance to 0.5 and the velocity variance to 1. Finally, animate the size with a keyframe, start at 0, and just before the end, bring it up to 0.4. Once that's done, let's move over to the fast noise and start fine-tuning it. In the fast noise, set the detail to 80 and the scale to 50. For the contrast, add keyframes, start at 1.1, and just before the end, bring it down to 0. This way the distortion slowly fades out, giving the effect a clean finish. Once that's done, set the brightness to about -0.45. You can also adjust the angle for variety. Then push the seethe up to 0.6 with a seethe rate around 0.75. This adds movement and makes the distortion feel more alive. Now let's move back to the edit page and add an edge detect effect from the effects panel. This isolates the outlines of the text and gives it a more stylized look. In the settings, switch it to grayscale, then change the tint color. I'll go with red, but you can pick whatever fits your design. Playing with the edge intensity and color is a great way to push the mood of this effect. In the inspector panel, set the gamma to 2.000 and the brightness to 3.100. This makes the outlines sharper and much more intense, really bringing the effect to life. Let's take a look at what we've got so far. It's already looking strong, but let's add a little extra spice. Drop a glow effect on top to make the edges pop even more. For this one, we want a vertical glow. So in the settings, bring the HV ratio all the way down, lower the spread, and raise both the gain and the gamma. Then animate the gamma with keyframes, start at about 1.7, and just before the end, bring it down to 0. This way the glow gradually fades out for a smooth finish. After a little bit of fine-tuning, our third text effect is complete. And that's it, 3 dynamic text effects created entirely in DaVinci Resolve Fusion. We started with glowing gradients, moved on to bold 3D metallic text, and finished with a dramatic vertical glow effect. Each one can be customized in countless ways, so feel free to experiment and make them your own. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more Fusion tricks.